Hello there, I'm the voice behind the Strictoaster YouTube channel. I'm known for making ultra-modded and heavily detailed City Skylines projects, and once again I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to bring you another modding tutorial. In my last two videos we covered how to get started with mods, and how to troubleshoot them whenever something goes wrong, and in case you haven't seen them, there will be links in the description. This time around I'm going to share some of my techniques for keeping mods and assets organized, especially if you want to work on multiple cities at a time that don't use the same assets, or if you want to build together with friends on a single save game. First, let's organize mods and assets in collections. I mentioned this in my previous video, but it's highly recommended that you create at least 2 collections per project, one for assets and another one for mods. This is especially useful if you're working on more than one project, that way you can unsubscribe to all your existing dependencies and resubscribe to the new ones with just a few clicks. Now, I know it's a bit of a pain having to add every single asset to a collection the first time, but if you do this every time you subscribe to a new mod or an asset, it really only takes like 3 extra clicks. On top of that, collections in the Steam Workshop have a limit of about 1,000 items, so if you're working on a highly detailed city, it's very likely that you'll run into this limit multiple times. But fear not, there's a workaround for that. The secret here is to add collections to collections. If you browse the Steam Workshop, you'll probably come across asset creators focused on a single theme. And many of these creators usually group their own assets into collections. You can add those collections to your main collection and access them by scrolling to the bottom of the page. This sounds easy, but there's a bit of a catch. Unfortunately, if you click on the subscribe to all button at the top of the page, you won't actually subscribe to all the items inside of the linked collections below. In this case, what I do is open all of these collections in new tabs and then click on the subscribe all button on each one of them. I know it's not ideal, but it's still faster than adding every single item to a master collection one by one. That being said, there is another option you can consider: creating multiple accounts. Every item you subscribe to in the Steam Workshop is actually tied to a Steam account. This means that you could create additional Steam accounts and switch from one to another whenever you want to subscribe to mods or assets. If you choose this method, keep in mind that you'll have to enable family sharing to share the game from your main account to your additional ones. Now before I go, there's a couple more things that I want you to keep in mind. Whenever you change the settings of a mod or a game, they usually live in these files on these folders. If the cities you're working on have different settings and configurations, you will have to copy these files manually and back them up to a different folder every time you switch projects. In other words, they won't change when you subscribe to a mod or switch accounts, and instead they will get overridden whenever you change your settings. Another useful feature for those of you who are sharing save games in the workshop and want to quickly try them out is the ability to subscribe to all the mods and assets used in that file. To do this, head over to the Save Games section in the Content Manager and click the Subscribe All button. Also, click the Enable All button to make sure all of the mods and assets on the list are turned on. Whether you're creating multiple cities at a time or collaborating with friends, I really hope these tips will help you ease the transition process and keep your mods and assets organized. If you want more City Skylines tips, make sure to check out the other videos on this channel and subscribe to be notified when the next one comes out. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.